I was amazed that I was considered to sing with Peabo Bryson, that I knew and that I really enjoyed and loved, and it became a very huge success.
After Peabo Bryson's funeral, people expected silence, but something surprising happened instead. Celine Dion finally speaks out and says things many fans had suspected for a long time. For years, their strong duets and emotional stage performances made people wonder if there was more to their bond than just music. Now, after his death, her words suggest there may have been a hidden truth about their relationship that was never fully shared with the public. So, what was really going on between them? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. Celine Dion admits what we all suspected. Peabo Bryson spent most of his life giving people songs about love, hope, and strong feelings. For many years, his voice became part of weddings, family memories, slow dances, and childhood moments. Then, on June 2nd, 2026, that voice went silent. Peabo Bryson died at 75 years old in his home in Marietta, Georgia. His family later shared that he passed away peacefully while surrounded by people who loved him. The cause of death was said to be problems linked to a stroke. The news shocked many people because only a short time earlier, reports had come out saying he had suffered a stroke and was getting medical care. Fans around the world hoped he would recover. Many believed he could fight through it because he had faced hard times before. But this time was different. The news spread quickly because Peabo Bryson was not just another singer. He had spent decades building songs that stayed with people for years. Even those who did not know his name often knew his voice. That is what made his death hit so many people hard. One of the most emotional moments after his passing came from singer Regina Belle. Their names became tied together because of one song that changed both of their careers. The song was one of the most loved songs from Disney history. Their voices blended together in a way many fans never forgot. But behind the music was also friendship. Regina Belle later spoke about how close they were. She said he was like family to her. During the days before his death, she visited him. Reports said she held his hand and quietly sang to him. The song she chose was the same song that connected them many years before. She softly sang their dong while sitting beside him. That moment touched many people because it showed something deeper than music. It showed friendship and loyalty. Later, she spoke about the pain of losing him. She explained that the hardest part was knowing they would never sing together again. For someone who shared such important moments with him on stage and in music history, the loss felt personal. Another emotional message came from Celine Dion. Peabo Bryson and Celine worked together on Beauty and the Beast, another song that became famous around the world. Many people remember that song because it became part of movie history. But Celine Dion shared something many fans did not know. She explained that during those early years, singing in English still felt new to her. She was learning and still trying to feel comfortable. She said Peabo helped make that process easier. According to her, he was patient, kind, and welcoming. Instead of making things harder for someone still learning, he made her feel relaxed. She described him as generous. That small detail changed how many people looked at him. It showed he was not only talented, he also helped others shine. These reactions showed something important. The people closest to him did not only remember the songs, they remembered the person. They remembered someone who helped others, stayed kind, and made people feel supported. In the days after his death, many fans started talking again about how much his music meant to them. Some remembered childhood memories. Others remembered weddings or special moments. His passing became more than the loss of a singer. For many people, it felt like losing a voice connected to important parts of their lives. After seeing the love, heartbreak, and emotional goodbyes that followed his passing, one big question still remains. How did a man whose voice touched millions around the world build such a powerful career, yet somehow remain one of music's most overlooked stars? Stay tuned for more. How his journey started, and why many say he never got enough credit. Long before the awards and famous songs, Peabo Bryson started very young. He was born Robert Peabo Bryson on April 13, 1951, in Greenville, South Carolina. Music came into his life early. By age 14, he was already singing professionally. While many teenagers worried about school activities and normal childhood things, he was already learning how music worked in the real world. His career moved fast. By age 16, he had already started touring. Those early years helped shape him into the performer people later knew. He learned how to sing for crowds, how to perform night after night, and how to survive in a hard industry. In 1976, he released his first solo album. That project helped begin a career that would last around 5 decades. During those early years, he worked around talented people who later became huge stars themselves. Even before reaching worldwide fame, he was already surrounded by strong voices and skilled musicians. Still, the period that changed everything came during the early 90s. That was when Disney entered the picture. In 1991, he recorded Beauty and the Beast with Celine Dion. The song became a huge success. It introduced millions of people to his voice in a new way. Then, only a year later, another massive moment arrived. In 1992, he joined Regina Belle for A Whole New World. The song became one of Disney's biggest musical successes. It reached #1 and stayed in people's hearts for years. These songs did more than win awards. They gave him a place in music history. He became the only singer connected to 2 back-to-back Oscar-winning Disney songs. That achievement made him different from almost every singer around him. But despite all these wins, many people believe Peabo Bryson never got the credit he deserved. One reason often mentioned is that he made other artists sound even better. He worked well in duets. His voice blended smoothly with others. Instead of fighting for attention, he created balance. That made him valuable, but sometimes less visible. People knew the songs. They knew the famous movie moments, but many did not always know the man behind the voice. This became one of the biggest stories connected to his career. Millions recognized his music, while fewer recognized his name. People who worked with him often spoke about his kindness and professionalism. Fans spoke about the emotion in his singing. Critics praised his control and smooth style, yet many still feel he remained underrated. Looking back at his journey, many now ask the same question. How could someone with such a recognizable voice stay so underappreciated for so long? That question remains part of his legacy. His story was not only about success, it was also about talent that many believe should have received far more attention than it did. Before the world connected his voice with famous movie songs and unforgettable duets, another question began to grow. Who was Peabo Bryson before the awards, before the Disney success, and before the world finally learned the name behind that unforgettable voice? Let's find out. The name that stayed, the hard road, and the voice people started to notice. Before the awards, before the famous songs, and before millions of people knew his voice, Peabo Bryson was building his life step by step. Even the name the world later remembered did not begin the way many people think. Reports about his early years say that the nickname connected to him as a child was not exactly Peabo. It was closer to Pepo. As he grew older and spent more time around musicians and performers, people around him struggled to pronounce the name correctly. Little by little, the sound changed. Eventually, people started saying Peabo more often, and the name stayed. What started as a small mistake slowly became part of music history. That name later appeared on records, posters, concert tickets, and award lists. It became the identity people knew. But long before the name carried weight, the man behind it had to fight through years of difficult work. His early journey happened during a time when many black artists had limited opportunities in the music business. To build careers, many performers traveled through what became known as the Chitlin circuit. These were clubs, small theaters, local venues, and performance spaces spread across different cities. The work was not easy. Travel could be long. Money was often small. Performers worked late nights and moved constantly. Success was never guaranteed. For Peabo Bryson, those years became his training ground. Those small stages taught him how to hold attention without expensive lights or large crowds. They taught him how to keep singing when crowds were small and conditions were difficult. These experiences shaped the singer he later became. Performing night after night also built discipline. Artists who survived those years often learned quickly because mistakes could cost opportunities. Bryson learned timing. He learned stage control. He learned how to connect emotionally with people listening. These lessons became important later because his music style depended heavily on emotion. As more people noticed his voice, record companies slowly began paying attention. Eventually, a record label signed him. That moment became one of the first major changes in his professional life. In 1976, he released his first album called Peabo. The album did not instantly turn him into a huge celebrity. Instead, it worked more like an introduction. It showed listeners what kind of singer he wanted to become. His style was already different from many others. He focused on feelings more than speed. He focused on emotion more than flashy performance. Later, moving to another record label gave him more support and bigger opportunities. During these years, his identity as an artist became clearer. He became known for romantic songs, smooth vocals, and emotional storytelling. His songs often felt personal. Listeners did not only hear singing, many felt like they were hearing experiences. As his career continued growing, several songs helped strengthen his place in R&B music. Tracks like Feel the Fire, Reaching for the Sky, and I'm So Into You helped more people discover him. These songs created loyal fans because they sounded different from louder music trends happening around him. His singing style was softer but powerful. He could sing quietly and still make people listen. One major step forward came with If Ever You're in My Arms Again. That song pushed him closer to mainstream success. More people outside traditional R&B audiences started hearing his music. Songs like Show and Tell and Can You Stop the Rain continued building his reputation. These records made listeners trust his voice. People started connecting his music with romance, heartbreak, and strong emotions. What made his success interesting was that he did not depend heavily on trends. He depended on delivery. He depended on feeling. While many artists chased changing sounds, Bryson focused on emotional connection. That approach helped build a career that lasted decades rather than a few short years. After building his name through years of hard work, small stages, and emotional love songs, another question starts to rise. What happens when a singer built on pure talent enters an industry that slowly begins choosing image over voice? Let's learn more. Industry change, Disney shadow, and the years afterwards. Even with successful songs and growing popularity, Peabo Bryson entered a period when the music industry itself was changing fast. During earlier years, strong vocals could carry artists far. But as television and music videos became more important, the rules started changing. Suddenly, the image mattered more. Younger artists appeared everywhere. Record labels focused heavily on appearance, fashion, and video presence. The rise of music television changed how audiences discovered artists. Singing ability still mattered, but now artists also needed visual appeal. Bryson openly spoke about frustrations during this period. He believed talented singers sometimes received less attention because the industry focused more on youth and appearance. This shift created challenges for many performers whose careers had been built mainly around vocal talent. Bryson belonged to a generation where listeners first noticed voices. The new system often asked audiences to notice appearances first. Even while adapting, he continued creating music. Then came the period that changed public memory forever. His work, connected to major movie soundtracks, brought him to millions of new listeners. These songs became worldwide successes. They introduced his voice to families, children, and audiences far outside traditional R&B circles. The success was huge, but it also created an unexpected problem. Over time, many listeners began reducing his identity to only those famous soundtrack moments. Public memory became narrower. Instead of remembering decades of work, many remembered only a few songs. This created a strange situation. Success increased his visibility while also shrinking how people described his career. Many knew the voice, fewer knew the larger story. This narrowing effect followed him for years. Even though he had already built an established career before those soundtrack successes, public attention often returned to the same songs repeatedly. That became one of the biggest contradictions in his career. Huge success sometimes covered up earlier achievements. Despite this, Bryson never stopped working. He continued making music through changing decades and changing audiences. He kept releasing projects long after many artists from his generation slowed down. He collaborated with different musicians and remained active creatively. His later work showed he still viewed music as part of everyday life, rather than something left in the past. In 2018, he released Stand for Love. Even the title itself sounded meaningful. It reflected the kind of music he spent decades creating. Love songs, emotional songs, songs built around connection. Long after reaching major milestones, he still returned to the same ideas that shaped his career from the beginning. Performing also remained important. Even after decades in music, he continued appearing for audiences who still wanted to hear that familiar voice. That persistence became part of his story. He adapted through industry changes, audience changes, and shifting trends. Through it all, he kept singing. Looking at these years together shows something important. His career was never only about famous songs. It was about survival in changing times. It was about staying active when trends changed. It was about continuing to create, even when public memory simplified decades of work into only a few moments. His story became larger than chart success. It became the story of an artist who stayed present, kept working, and kept believing that a strong voice still mattered. How did Peabo Bryson handle the pressures of fame, personal struggles, and the challenges that came with staying relevant for decades? Let's take a closer look. Peabo Bryson's lasting legacy. Peabo Bryson built a career that lasted for many decades and made him one of the most respected voices in music. His success was not only about famous songs or awards, it was about how long his music stayed important to people. Over the years, he released 20 studio albums and created music that touched different generations. Many artists become popular for a short time and then disappear from public attention. But Bryson managed to stay important for many years. He received 8 Grammy nominations and won multiple Grammy Awards during his career. These achievements showed how much respect he earned from people inside and outside the music industry. While many people remember him mostly for his Disney songs, his career was much bigger than that. He built a music collection filled with love songs, emotional ballads, and memorable duets that fans kept listening to for years. His success came from hard work, patience, and his ability to connect with people through music. Bryson also had strong opinions about the music industry and how it treated artists. He often spoke about how older artists were sometimes pushed aside, while younger performers got more attention. He believed talented people still had something important to offer, no matter their age. He spent decades watching music change through different generations. Styles changed, Technology changed. The audience changed. But he believed good music always stayed important. He felt music should not only be about trends or what is popular for a short time. Instead, he believed songs should have feeling, meaning, and quality. Bryson also did not like being placed inside one category. He wanted freedom to explore different styles and opportunities. That way of thinking helped him build a career that lasted much longer than many others. Even after reaching success, life still brought difficult moments. In 2019, Bryson faced a serious health problem when he suffered a heart attack. The news worried fans around the world because many people wondered if he would fully recover. For someone whose voice meant so much to millions of people, the situation felt personal for many fans. Thankfully, later reports confirmed that he recovered successfully. His recovery reminded people of how strong he was and how much support he had from people who loved his music. The reaction to his health struggles showed that fans cared about more than his songs. They cared about him as a person. After decades of giving people music that became part of their lives, many people wanted to support him during his difficult moments. His health battle also showed how deeply connected audiences had become to him over the years. Today, Bryson's legacy remains strong because his music continues to reach old and new listeners. His songs still appear on streaming platforms, social media clips, playlists, movies, and special moments in people's lives. Songs like "If Ever You're in My Arms Again" and "Can You Stop the Rain" still bring back memories for many people. Some listeners remember hearing them during childhood. Others connect them with weddings, relationships, or important moments in life. His music crossed generations because the feelings inside the songs never became old. Love, hope, sadness, and joy are things people always understand. That is why his work continues to matter. Many artists become forgotten after a few years, but Bryson created music that stayed alive because it felt real. His voice carried emotion in a way that made listeners feel connected. His songs were not only popular records, they became memories for millions of people. Through awards, performances, struggles, and victories, Bryson created a career that left a lasting mark on music history. His work continues to remind people that true talent does not disappear. Great music stays with people long after the final song ends. After exploring the rise of Peabo Bryson's music career and his biggest achievements, what events in his later life and final days ultimately shaped the closing chapter of his legacy? Let's find out. The life, legacy, and final days of Peabo Bryson. Peabo Bryson is reported to have built a long and successful music life that brought him a net worth of about $10 million. This money came from many years of singing, recording songs, performing on stage, and working with other famous music artists. He stayed active in music for many decades, and his work helped him earn money in many ways. He made songs that people loved, he traveled for concerts, and he stayed important in the music world for a long time. His success did not come fast. It came slowly, through years of hard work, patience, and steady growth in his career. Many people know him as a strong voice in romantic R&B music, and also as a singer, whose songs became part of many people's life memories. In his early life, one of the most important people was his mother, Marie Bryson. She played a big role in shaping who he became. She loved music deeply and shared that love with him when he was still a child. She took him to hear gospel and soul music in their community. These early experiences helped him understand music in a deep way. She did not only teach him music, she also taught him how to stay strong in life. She encouraged him to believe in himself even when life was hard. She helped him understand that hope and expression through singing could lift a person out of sadness and struggle. Her support gave him the courage to follow music as a serious path in life. Without her guidance and emotional strength, his journey may have been very different. During his childhood, life was not easy. He grew up in a poor home where money was not enough for many needs. His community was affected by racial separation and unfair treatment during that time in America. He also faced bullying from other children who did not understand his sensitive nature and his love for music. Some of the environment around him included crime and violence, which made life even more difficult for young people. These problems did not stop him, but they made life heavy for him as a child. Instead of giving up, he used music as a way to deal with pain. Singing became his safe place. It helped him express feelings he could not easily speak. It also gave him strength to continue moving forward. As he grew older, he started his music journey at a very young age. By around 14 years old, he was already performing with local music groups. He sang in small places and worked with other musicians in his area. These early performances helped him learn how to control his voice and how to perform in front of people. He later traveled with regional music bands, which gave him more experience and helped him grow stronger as a performer. These early years were not easy. He had to work hard, travel often, and perform in simple places. But all of this helped him build the skills that later made him successful. His big break came in the late 70s when he signed with major music companies. He first worked with Bang Records and later moved to Capitol Records, which was a very important step in his career. In 1978, he released a popular song called "Reaching for the Sky," which helped people notice his talent. This song became a turning point in his life and showed that he had strong potential in the music industry. After this, his career continued to grow. He became known for singing emotional and soft R&B songs that people connected with deeply. One of the biggest parts of his success came from working with other singers. He worked closely with Roberta Flack, and together they created a famous song called "Tonight I Celebrate My Love." This song became very popular and is still remembered as a romantic classic. It showed how well he could sing with other artists and how his voice could blend smoothly with different styles. This skill made him one of the best duet singers of his time. He continued to work with other well-known artists and built a strong name in the music world. His voice became known for being warm, soft, and emotional, which made his songs stand out. In the later part of his career, he also became famous for singing songs in Disney movies, which brought him global fame. His lifestyle after success included owning several homes in different places. He had a large and expensive house in Atlanta with modern designs and luxury features. He also had a home in Los Angeles with a more modern and simple style. In addition to these, he owned a house in South Carolina that was more connected to his roots and early life. These homes showed both his success and his connection to where he came from. His lifestyle reflected comfort, achievement, and personal history. After seeing how his early struggles and rise in music shaped his path, what were the major turning points that later defined Peabo Bryson's life, fame, and personal challenges? Let's find out more. The later years, struggles, and lasting legacy of Peabo Bryson. Peabo Bryson's later life shows a story of family, struggle, recovery, and lasting impact. In his personal life, he married a British singer named Tanya Boniface, who was much younger than him. Even though people talked about their age difference, they stayed together and supported each other. Later in life, he also became a father at the age of 68. This was a very important moment for him and brought new meaning to his life. His family was very important to him, and it gave him strength even while he faced a busy career and public attention. In 2019, he went through a very serious health problem when he suffered a major heart attack. It was so severe that he nearly died, and reports said he was not responsive for a long time before he was brought back. His wife played a key role in saving his life by giving emergency help before doctors arrived. After this event, his recovery was slow and difficult. It changed the way he saw life, health, and time with loved ones. Even after this health scare, he did not stop working in music. He continued to perform on stage and travel for shows. He also spent time helping and guiding younger singers, sharing his long experience in the music world. This showed that he still had a strong passion for music even in later years. However, his life was not without money problems. In 2003, he faced serious tax issues with the government. These problems led to the loss of some of his belongings, including important awards because of unpaid debts. Even though this was a hard time for him, he did not give up. He worked hard again through concerts and music projects to rebuild his life and finances. Over time, he recovered and continued his career. His life story is remembered as one of strength and survival. He became known as a powerful voice in romantic music, loved by many people across the world. His songs touched different generations and were used in weddings, films, and special life moments. He is remembered not only for his music, but also for his ability to overcome health problems, money struggles, and personal challenges. His legacy is one of a man who kept going no matter the difficulty and left behind music that will continue to be enjoyed for many years. After Peabo Bryson's death, Celine Dion finally speaking up has made old questions come back again. For years, people wondered about the strong bond they shared on stage, especially during their emotional duets. Their voices fit together in a way that felt very personal, almost like they understood each other beyond music. Fans often thought there was a deeper emotional connection, even if nothing was ever confirmed. Now, with Celine breaking her silence after his passing, those feelings and memories are being looked at again with new meaning. It has made many ask if there was more to their relationship. What do you think about Peabo Bryson and Celine Dion's bond? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for following the story of Peabo Bryson. From powerful love songs to deep personal struggles behind fame. If this story changed how you see success and sacrifice, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video for more inspiring stories. See you there.